You don't get to erase me and still cash the checks. 3 months ago, I thought I was finally going to have that mother-son moment people talk about, the one where your kid looks at you and actually sees you. Not just the lectures, the hard love, the bailouts. You, the person who kept the damn lights on and held their hand when their world was burning. Spoiler, I was wrong, so if *** king wrong. I'm 50. Single mom. Used to be an investigative reporter in New York, back when people still read newspapers and cared about truth. I exposed corrupt real estate developers and dirty senators. Now I run a nonprofit that helps women get out of abusive situations because, well, I've been there. Lucas came into my life when he was 9. Foster placement. Quiet, angry, obsessed with drawing spaceships. I wasn't planning to adopt, I was just supposed to house him for 60 days. But I remember him crying on my bathroom floor, whispering he'd rather die than go back to his old home. And that was it. I fought to keep him. Won. He became my son. And then, 20 years later, he decided I wasn't worth inviting to his wedding. Yeah, that happened. But let me back up a bit, because people don't turn on you overnight. It's always small chips, one memory at a time, until suddenly you're the villain in a story you have *** king wrote with your own blood. 2 years ago, the shift Lucas met Claire at a fundraiser I hosted. I introduced them. She was charming. Graduated Yale. Her mom's one of those Upper East Side socialite types who throws charity brunches for urban outreach while tipping waitstaff like garbage. But Claire had her own shine. For a minute, I thought she might be the grounding force Lucas needed. He'd always been intense. The kind of guy who loves hard but crashes harder. They moved fast, moved in together after 6 months. I helped them with the down payment on a place in Long Island City. I didn't even hesitate. That's what parents do, right? Then little things started changing. Suddenly I was too involved. My questions about the wedding plans were controlling. I remember once I offered a venue contact from an old journalist buddy who now runs events at the Plaza. Claire smiled and said, "Oh, that's sweet. And Lucas just texted me later. Please stop interfering." I should have known then. Last month, the slap I didn't see coming. So here's the thing, I offered to pay for the whole damn wedding. Straight up, 80 grand. I wasn't trying to control anything. I just wanted him to have the day he dreamed of. Hell, he used to say he wanted fireworks at his wedding. Literal fireworks. I figured, why not? They said yes. Claire sent me Pinterest boards. Lucas said he'd keep me in the loop. Then, silence. No invites, no meetings. When I asked about guest lists, they'd brush me off, still working on it, or let Claire handle it. I didn't push too hard. I know how brides can be. I trusted them. But then last month, my assistant, yes, I have one. It's a nonprofit, but I run it like a machine was confirming a delivery and saw the wedding website. Guess what wasn't there? My name. At all. It said, groom's father Charles Rowe. You want to know who that is? Senator Charles Rowe. The same corrupt bastard I exposed 15 years ago for laundering campaign funds through fake construction contracts. The man tried to sue me for defamation, tried to get me blacklisted. He even sent someone to follow me once I caught them. Of course, I'm not an idiot. Apparently now he's Lucas's father figure. I stared at that screen like it was glitching. I thought maybe there was a mistake, some inside joke. So I called Lucas. He didn't pick up. So I texted. Hey, is this real? Why is Senator Rowe listed as your father? His reply. It's complicated. Please don't make this about you. I felt something snap, like a rubber band inside my chest. 20 years of birthday parties, ER visits, therapy sessions, with legal battles, every F*** king spelling bee, every college loan, every crying fit at 3 a.m. over bullies, teachers, girls. All of that was complicated. This morning, the final straw, I woke up at 6 a.m. to an email from the hotel coordinator. Payment due for catering final headcount. I asked for the guest list. Just to confirm, she said, "Sorry, that's only approved for the bride and groom." I said, "I'm the one paying." She paused, then quietly sent it over. I printed it, looked at every line. Not only was my name missing, Lucas had explicitly written, "Please do not allow my name entry to the event. If she attempts to attend, contact security immediately." I laughed, actually laughed, ugly laugh. I built this wedding. I built this boy. And now I was apparently a threat to be removed. Screw that. I didn't scream. I didn't call and cuss him out. I didn't even cry. Not then. I sat there at my kitchen counter, sipping cold-ass coffee, staring at that guest list like it was a joke someone forgot to finish. I think I read it 10 times. Every name, every cousin of Claire's. Some dude named Uncle Hal who I'm pretty sure is just a family friend with money. Her yoga instructor. Even the florist got a +1. But me, the woman who raised his ass. Security risk. You ever feel so disrespected your bones get cold? I started shaking. Not sobbing. Just shaking. Like my body was trying to decide whether to cry, punch a wall, or just shut down completely. I stood up, opened the fridge, grabbed the leftover curry I made 2 days ago, and tossed it straight into the trash. Because it was his favorite. I used to make it every time he had a hard week in high school. And right then, I couldn't stand to look at it. And here's the part that's asterisk. Ket up. I still wanted to talk to him. Still wanted to hear him say it was all some misunderstanding. That he didn't really mean to erase me. That Claire pushed for it. That it was Rose's idea. Anyone's idea but his. So yeah, I called straight to voicemail. I tried again. Then texted, "Lucas, just talk to me, please." No response. I walked into my home office, opened the cabinet where I kept the wedding folder. Yep, I had a whole F*** king folder, like some overinvested PTA mom. Contracts, receipts, deposits, timeline charts. You'd think I was planning a hostile merger, not a goddamn celebration. Every line item had my initials on it. Every check was from my account, $82,470 total, paid, in full, venue, caterer, photographer, band, flowers, guest accommodations, even the freaking photo booth rental. All signed, all mine. And that's when the idea started forming, real slow, like a drip at first. See, I might not be invited, but I owned this wedding. Every goddamn piece of it. And they forgot who I am. I don't burn bridges. I plant C4 under them and wait. So I made a few calls. First was the venue. Spoke to the events manager, Kelly. Sweet girl, probably mid-30s, recently divorced. Could tell she'd seen her fair share of wedding drama. I said, "Hey Kelly, it's me. You're still booked for June 14th, right?" She hesitated. "Yes, ma'am. For the Roe Michaels wedding?" I said, "Yeah. Here's the thing, since I'm the payee and contract holder, I'd like to change that event to something else." Long pause. "You're canceling?" "No," I said, "I'm rebranding." She laughed. Thought I was joking. I wasn't. She pulled up the paperwork. And legally, I had full rights. That's the part they didn't think about. It was all under my name, my non-profit's name. Actually, for tax purposes. They didn't care when the checks cleared. But now that detail was gold. Kelly asked, "What kind of event are you switching it to?" I told her a private fundraiser, invite only, open bar, black tie optional, Theme unmasking the real America. She blinked audibly through the phone. That's poetic. You think they'll notice? She snorted. They won't know until they're at the door. I could have stopped there, but if **K it, I was on a roll. Next, the caterer. Lovely Caribbean couple I met through a domestic violence survivor I helped resettle. I called Miss Margot. I said, "Hey, slight update. Same date, but we're serving a different crowd. Can we rework the menu to reflect something symbolic?" She said, "You want spicy?" I said, "I want nuclear." She cackled, "I'll make my devil oxtail and fire rice. Half the room's gonna cry." Perfect. Photographer was next. I told him to keep the date but redirect coverage to the real event. All photos owned by me. If anyone tried to sneak in, he'd treat them like paparazzi trying to crash Beyoncé's baby shower. The band switched. I hired a protest folk duo I found on TikTok who write songs about corrupt politicians and shitty dads. You think I'm petty? Nah, I'm surgical. Now, you might ask, why not just cancel? Because canceling's easy. What I wanted the silence. The moment they showed up, all glammed out, and realized the venue was buzzing with people who looked nothing like them. People they wouldn't dare speak to unless they were asking for a vote or a tax break. I wanted Claire's mom to walk in and hear a spoken word piece about generational trauma. I wanted Senator Rowe to see his face projected in red behind a slideshow of misused public funds and lawsuits I dug up back in 2012. Most of all, I wanted Lucas to know you don't get to rewrite history by cropping people out. I keep receipts. Literally. That night, I sat back with a glass of wine and drafted a new guest list. Survivors, whistleblowers, former interns, journalists who still gave a damn, and a few friends from the shelter who never got to wear ball gowns before. My revenge wasn't about violence. It was about visibility. And yeah, I was pissed, but more than that. I was *** king done being quiet. The morning of the wedding, scratch that, the morning of my fundraiser started quiet. Too quiet. I didn't sleep much the night before. Kept waking up every hour, mind racing, wondering if I was going too far. If this was petty. If I'd become the thing I always told Lucas, not to be someone who uses pain like a weapon. Then I remembered that damn email. Please do not allow my name entry to the event. Screw that. He wanted to erase me. I just returned the favor with interest. By 9 a.m., the venue was already buzzing, staff setting up tables, Margot's team unloading trays of hell-spiced oxtail. The folk duo was sound-checking with this song called Daddy's Dirty Money Buys Empty Vows. Subtle. I know. Around 10:30, I got the first text from my niece. "Auntie, Lucas just posted a selfie in the limo. They're heading to the venue." Showtime. I stayed home, poured coffee, sat on my couch with my rescue dog, Saffron, curled up next to me, like she knew something big was about to drop. I had the security cam feed from the venue on my tablet. Not creepy, just practical. The venue let me log in to monitor the crowd for any issues. Then, at 11:12 a.m., I saw them arrive. Lucas in a cream tux, Claire in some $12K, Vera Wang-looking situation. Her makeup perfect, smile plastic. Behind them, her mom. Senator Rowe didn't show coward figures. Claire tried walking in first. Security stopped her. They talked. She laughed like, "Oh, this must be a mix-up." Security showed her the revised event permit with my name as the host. She laughed again, but there was this twitch in her eye. You know the one when rich people realize they're not in control? Then Lucas stepped up. He tried that condescending tone he uses when he thinks he's being reasonable. There's been a mistake. This is our venue, our wedding. Security guy, bless him, just said, Sir, your name isn't on the contract. You're not authorized to enter. Claire lost it first. She kept repeating. She wouldn't. She couldn't. But I could. And I did. Lucas pulled out his phone. Called me 4 times in a row. I didn't answer. I just watched. After 15 minutes of them arguing with security, guests started arriving. One car after another, people in gowns, men in suits. Some looked confused, some pissed. Claire's bridesmaids looked ready to implode. Then Margot's team rolled out trays of food. The smell hit the crowd hard, spicy, rich, loud. Someone muttered, Is this the right wedding? And I nearly choked on my coffee. Lucas finally shouted, Tell her she can't do this. She's sabotaging my life. Funny how I sabotaged something I wasn't even invited to. At 12:05 p.m., the protest duo took the stage. First song, Your father bought the ring, but Mama paid the price. People clapped, danced, took pictures. Lucas stood there, humiliated. I watched him try to talk to one of the venue managers, gesturing wildly like a toddler mid-tantrum. Claire started crying, like actual mascara-running tears. And me. I just sat there, watching, with saffron curled against my leg like a weighted blanket of petty justice. At one point, someone handed Claire a bottle of water, and she smacked it away. Drama. Total chaos. Her mom kept hissing something in her ear, probably telling her to calm down before someone with a blog showed up. Then Lucas did the one thing I didn't expect. He left. Just like that, got into the limo, didn't even look back. Claire followed after 5 minutes, heels in hand, dress dragging through a parking lot puddle like a fallen prom queen. Their guests scattered. Some left in awkward silence. Others stayed, because turns out my fundraiser had free booze, live music, and Margot's flaming oxtail. We partied. One of the shelter moms I invited got on stage and read a poem about surviving silence. She wore a green dress she got from the donation rack. Said it made her feel expensive. I cried. That was the first time I cried that whole day. Not over Lucas. Over her. Over how many women never get to feel seen. And here she was, in the same venue that was supposed to be about 2 people who erased me. She danced. We danced. The sun set around 7:45 p.m. I raised a glass to the room and toasted to new beginnings. At 8 p.m. sharp, Lucas called again. This time I picked up silence on the other end. Then, why? I could hear him trying to stay calm, do that breathing thing he used to do when he was pissed but pretending not to be. I said, You called me a security risk. You disinvited me from something I paid for, then replaced me with a man who tried to destroy my career. What did you expect? Lucas Flowers. He didn't say anything. So I kept going. I've been your mother for 2 decades. I wiped puke off your shoes, sat through your existential crisis college phase, took your calls when your ex cheated, paid for your down payment, paid for this wedding, and you decided I wasn't family anymore. Still quiet. Then I heard him sniff, just once. He said, You embarrassed me. I laughed, couldn't help it. You embarrassed yourself. I just gave people a better party. He hung up. 2 minutes later, Claire texted me, one line. You're a cruel, bitter woman. I didn't respond, mostly because, that day I was not bitter from hate, bitter from being erased, from loving someone who forgot who the hell I was. I shut off my phone. Went back to the party. There was a moment, around midnight, where the folk duo started playing Fast Car, and everyone started singing along. I sat on the edge of the dance floor, watching all these strangers and survivors, all of them just free, alive. And I realized something. This wasn't just revenge. It was a funeral. For every version of motherhood I held on to, for the dream of being loved back the way I loved him. And damn it, the send-off was beautiful. The morning after the fundraiser/wedding explosion, I woke up with a headache and 1,000 unread texts. No, not from Lucas, from my mother. Figures. She'd called 6 times overnight, left 2 voicemails that were a mix of "how could you" and "we need to talk." My mom has this habit of pretending she's neutral while making you feel like you just committed arson in a church. She's never quite approved of how I raised Lucas. Said I was too blunt, too cold. Said I didn't know how to love like a real mother. Whatever the hell that means. So I called her back. Morning, I said, flat. She didn't waste time. What the hell did you do, Marianne? Straight to it. Classic. I rubbed my eyes and said, you talked to him. Of course I did. He showed up at our house last night with Claire, crying. Marianne, they were devastated. I laughed quietly, bitterly. They tried to throw a wedding I wasn't invited to with my money. You humiliated them in front of everyone they care about. No, I said, they humiliated me. I just gave the humiliation better lighting and a playlist. She went quiet. That scary mom silence where you know judgment is loading like a slow internet video. Family doesn't do this, she finally said. I snapped. Neither does Lucas. He wrote me out of my own damn life. He chose that smug bastard Roe over the woman who raised him. Her voice cracked then. You're still his mother. Not according to him. She started crying. That's when I realized she wasn't just mad. She was heartbroken. Probably had her own version of Lucas in her head. The sweet boy she used to babysit on weekends. The one who cried when his goldfish died and made her play Candyland 30 times in a row. That kid was gone. Or buried so deep under resentment and Claire's influence and God knows what else that I couldn't reach him anymore. I told her I had to go, hung up before she could say more. That day, I didn't leave the house, couldn't. My stomach was wrecked. My head felt like it was packed with bees. I kept refreshing my inbox, waiting for angry emails, lawsuit threats, news alerts. Instead, I got tagged in a Reddit thread. Someone, probably one of Claire's bridesmaids, posted anonymously on RR Wedding Shaming. Title: Mill from hell hijacks entire wedding to throw her own party. Thoughts. The comments were wild. Half the people were like, hell yes, Queen, serve that revenge cold. Others were like, this woman is toxic. I'd go no contact too. I didn't comment, just read, let it wash over me. Claire, meanwhile, went full PR mode. I started seeing subtweets from her friends about narcissistic women who can't handle being replaced, and mothers who think money equals love. I ignored most of it. Until I got an email from my board. Yeah, that board. The nonprofit. Apparently, someone had started reaching out to our donors, concerned about how I was using funds. Total bullshit. Obviously, I paid for the wedding out of my personal account. But the optics not great. One donor paused their contribution. Another asked for a clarification meeting. The fallout was real. I started spiraling. For a week, I didn't sleep much, couldn't focus at work. My team tried to step up, cover for me, but I know I was off. I kept going back to that night. Not the party, the moment on the phone with Lucas. That one word he said. You embarrassed me. That part kept replaying in my head like a song I hated but couldn't turn off. By Thursday, I cracked. I drove to his apartment. It was stupid. I knew it. But I had to see him, not as some revenge-fueled fury, just his mother. One last time. I didn't even make it to the door. Claire answered the building intercom. Her voice was icy. What do you want? I need to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to you. Claire, move. This isn't about you. She laughed short, sharp. Everything's about you, Marianne. That's the problem. Click. Buzz ended. Gate stayed locked. I stood there for a few minutes, staring at the metal bars like they were some metaphor for parenthood. Then I walked away. That night, I drank. Not proud of it, but it was either tequila or rage writing a 14-paragraph email titled, "Here's What You Forgot." Lucas. Next morning, I woke up with a hangover and an idea. If they want to paint me as the villain, fine. I'd be the best villain they ever met. I started writing. Not some petty online rant, a piece, long form, personal essay. Title: How It Feels to Raise a Child Who Erases You. No names, no doxing, just raw truth. I posted it anonymously, under a burner Medium account. Just needed to get it out. Didn't expect it to go viral, but it did. Within 48 hours, 20,000 views, then 100K. People started sharing it on TikTok. Someone even read it in a podcast. I didn't out myself, but the story resonated. Hard. Emails flooded in. Parents, step-parents, foster moms, guardians, people telling me their versions, their grief, their stories of being cut off, erased, blamed. I cried, for them, for me. That post did something to me, unlocked something, gave me a weird kind of peace. I realized this wasn't about revenge anymore. It was grief. I was grieving the death of a bond I spent 20 years building. And yeah, sometimes grief wears a party dress and serves oxtail to strangers. Whatever. But underneath all the fire and fury, I was just heartbroken. 3 weeks passed. The fundraiser came and went. The article I posted online still getting attention. Every time I checked the stats, the number climbed. 300K views, then 500,000. I didn't feel proud. Not really. It just felt surreal, like I'd set fire to a bridge and then watched people gather around the ashes to warm their hands. And then came the call. It was a Thursday, early, like 6:40 a.m. Early. I was still in bed, groggy, saffron curled up against my feet. My phone buzzed unknown number. I almost let it go to voicemail. But something in me said pick up. Hello. Silence. Then a guy's voice, quiet, nervous. Hi, this is Ben. For a second, I didn't know who that was. Then it clicked. Ben, Claire's ex, the one before Lucas, the guy she dated for 3 years. I hadn't heard his name in forever. I sat up. Ben! Yeah, sorry, I know this is random. I wasn't sure if I should call, but I didn't know who else to talk to. Is something wrong? Pause. It's about Lucas. My stomach dropped. What happened? He's not okay. My heart stopped. My mouth dried out instantly. Tell me everything. Ben let out a long breath. I saw him a few nights ago. We grabbed drinks. He's been reaching out a lot lately. Said he felt like he didn't have anyone else. I thought it was weird at first, given how things ended with Claire, but I went anyway. I didn't say anything, just waited. He told me the truth about the wedding, about what you did, but also what he did. My chest tightened. He said, "He've asterisk ket up. That Claire poisoned everything. Said she convinced him you were controlling, that your money came with strings, that Jenna." She's not in the picture anymore. I interrupted. Right, that's what he said too. He broke it off with Claire. I blinked. What? They got into a huge fight after the wedding blew up. Apparently, she slapped him, screamed at him in front of guests. He packed a bag and left that night. He's been staying at a friend's place since... I didn't know what to say. Couldn't find the words. Just sat there in bed, heart thudding. He didn't know how to talk to you, Ben said. Said he couldn't face you. That every time he tried, he heard your voice from that call, and it made him feel... small. Good, I muttered before I could stop myself. He should feel small. Ben gave this soft, sad laugh. He's scared. Marianne, like, not just regret scared. I mean, ashamed. He keeps saying he doesn't know who he is anymore. He's been talking about going away, quitting everything. Said he thinks he ruined his entire life. He had... But hearing it from someone else, it felt different. So why are you calling me? I asked. Ben hesitated. Because he won't, and someone needs to say this to you. He's not okay. He doesn't expect forgiveness. He thinks you'll never speak to him again. He's not wrong. I know, but I thought you should know. He's trying, sort of, in his broken-ass way. I sat with that. Then said, he still hasn't apologized. I know, but maybe he will. Someday. Just don't write him off forever. Click. That was it? Ben hung up. I stared at my phone like it had personally betrayed me. What the hell was I supposed to do with that? Lucas dumped me, erased me, humiliated me in front of his entire life. But now he was broken, regretful, maybe even God help me remorseful. I didn't sleep that night. Next morning, I did something I hadn't done in months. I went through old photos. Found a folder buried deep in my external drive. Lucas age 10, 18. Birthday parties, soccer trophies, his braces, the time he shaved his head, because he thought it'd make him look tough. It didn't. He looked like a thumb. I cried. Not angry tears, not revenge-fueled rage. Just grief. Pure, raw, confusing grief. He used to love me, I think. And then he didn't. And now he maybe wants to again. Screw this. Feelings are dumb. Still, I texted Ben. Thanks for calling. Appreciate the honesty. Don't know what I'm doing yet. He replied instantly. Totally fair. Just figured you deserved to know. I let it be. Until 3 days later. I was at the grocery store. Hoodie, no makeup, trying to buy almond milk like a normal person. And boom, Lucas, in the produce section. We both froze. He looked awful, pale, hair grown out and messy, dark circles under his eyes, like someone who hadn't slept since the wedding. I don't know who moved first, maybe me. We ended up by the bananas, just staring. Hi, he said. I didn't answer. I didn't know you shopped here. That's what you lead with. He looked down. I'm sorry. I waited. For everything, he added. For the way I spoke to you. For how I handled the wedding. For not seeing what Claire was doing. For believing her over you. I said nothing. He swallowed. I was weak and selfish, and I thought... I don't know what I thought. But you didn't deserve any of it. You think that fixes anything? No, he said quickly. I know it doesn't. I don't want you to think I forgot, or that I don't regret it every day. He looked like he meant it, but that didn't make it better. You made me feel like a stranger in my own story. I said, you cut me out like I was the problem, after everything I did for you. He nodded. I know. Do you? He blinked back tears. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just wanted to say it out loud. Once. Even if you never speak to me again. Silence again. Then he walked away. No dramatic hugs, no Lifetime movie reunion, just walked off, leaving me standing there next to a pile of bruised bananas. That night, I sat outside on my porch with a glass of wine, staring at the sky like it owed me answers. What now? He said sorry. Does that change anything? Not really. But for the first time since the chaos started, I felt something loosen in my chest. Not forgiveness, but maybe the start of something less toxic.